One evening we had a wedding and I was working the whole evening. My duty manager Michael was with me, so two of us have to stay until the end of the night. The fire was lit, we have to stay until the fire goes out, so I sat at one side of the fire, Michael sat at the other side of the fire. I had a red wine, he had a beer, and we were about 8-10 foot apart, and all of a sudden something hit me so hard on the back of the head. My head flew forward, or my hair flew forward, and I could feel the hit. And Michael said, "What the hell happened then?" I said, "I don't know."
I greeted them in the evening, took them to the old part of the building, took them up the staircase. As I opened the door, both the gentlemen behind me, I spun round after he gasped, and when I saw him with his head in his hands and I asked what was the matter, he said to me, "There's children. Do you know about the children?" And I said, "No, I didn't know," because I get told this a lot, but I don't ever repeat it because it's not in any books or anywhere. But he did sense the children.
The story came from Clive, one of my housekeepers, who's quite a level-headed kind of guy as well. But he'd been working here a few months when we asked him to start taking over looking after the floors in the hall. So downstairs he started learning to buff and everything else like that, and he thought it's time I went upstairs because the floors upstairs needed doing. So with a little help of somebody else, the buffer got took upstairs because it's quite heavy. He did the long gallery, no problem whatsoever, all nice polished, and then he went into the room above the chapel and he put the polish down on the floor to let it dry, set the buffer going. And as he set the buffer going and started to push, it just went whew, right across the room. So he thought, it's me, I've done something not right, so back he comes, switched it off, had a look round, again, just moved again away from, so he just thought, it's definitely me this, I'm not doing something right. But it was to do with the fireplace, so the third time he tried again, and he started to buff and it was fine, but as soon as he got towards the fireplace, he would just push back. The feeling of just being pushed back completely. So he turned it off, packed it up and came downstairs, and it hasn't been buffed since. Because he got the heebie-jeebies.
I was setting up for a function in one of the rooms upstairs, and they have a lot of coffee stations and a lot of lunch stuff that I had to take upstairs. It was only about 9 o'clock in the evening, and as I was putting my cups and saucers out, I heard a voice of "Hiya," plain as day, and I actually answered the voice and I said "Hiya" in return. As I started walking downstairs to get some more pots, I didn't feel very well, and the colour had drained, I was very cold, and I really felt as though I couldn't move for just a split second. I was really, really unnerved.
We have trustees meetings about once a month, usually in this room. The gentleman was called Ian, and he was a young trustee, and he was sat almost opposite me, opposite on the Great Hall table, and he said, what the hell is happening here, Sharon? And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Something is blowing really hard on the back of my neck." He said, I've a terrible, terrible cold draft. And I said, "Don't be silly, Ian, it's a ghost." And all the trustees said, "Well, that was funny." And then we actually went to walk into another room. During that meeting, the door opened for Ian and closed behind him. And he didn't come back after that.
So we're walking past the bottom of the attic stairs and I could hear like a mumble, but it were more than a mumble, it was more like a murmur, it was like a room full of people talking, you know, but really low, you couldn't tell what they were saying. So I stopped to listen and the noise stopped. And so I started again and the noise started again, and it happened about 4 times and I couldn't explain it. I were totally on my own, there were no one else here. Well, I've worked here for that long and I've heard that many different stories from different people, as there must be something, I would have thought, but I look at it this way: whatever it is, it's never hurt me, and I've been here for that length of time. So I don't think it's malevolent, whatever it is.